And people, other physicians are pointing out points of interest and bringing up other information as the surgery is going on. This is a whole new age of learning. When we have the second signer of the Declaration that information should be open and free, Richard Baranek here at Connections at Rice University. Connections is a repository of free stuff, and it's growing very fast. Free ebooks and animations and so forth. Merlot is a referatory or a set of links. 20-some thousand, 21,000 learning materials, 78,000 members. They have a conference, they have a journal, they have a newsletter. Merlot was developed in the 1990s to get free stuff out there. It's grown tremendously. You know where the first pre-Merlot site was? In the 1994, I'd go downstairs in my school from the 4th floor down to the 2nd floor every day to talk to my former student, John Savory. And John would pull up websites. In 1994, there were only 15 websites. And one website we got excited about every day was from right here in Austin. It was the World Lecture Hall. And I did research on the World Lecture Hall. It hasn't grown as much as what I thought it would. Merlot grew. But the World Lecture Hall was indexing the syllabi of the world, you see. And in 1994, I go, oh, this is cool stuff! What's going to happen next? Well, now we got Connections, we got Merlot, and we got the National Repository of Online Courses. You want to find all the online courses of the world? Go to the NROC, or go to the OER Commons, the Open Education Resource Commons. Since I left accounting 20-some years ago, the most important thing that's happened to me is OER, opening up education, open education resources. My friend George Siemens says it's like a cute kitten. It's nice and warm, but there's really nothing there. I think it's more than a cute kitten. I think this is very important. This is the first level, I just said, level 1 knowledge that's out there. So, and now, any of you from Britain, the UK? In the UK, they have Jorum, J-O-R-U-M. It's like Merlot, like Connections, and it just became free to the world. They used to just, Brits only. If you weren't British, you weren't allowed in. You had to have the accent and everything, Okay, we got a few more openers. Got 15 minutes left. I was hoping to get to questions by now. The 6th opener gets us into open information community, Slash.dig and YouTube. The guys who made $2 billion creating YouTube, right? Jimmy Wales, who created Wikipedia. And people said it would never work. Now there are 10 million documents in Wikipedia, 3 million in English alone. My students are doing Wikibooks. We're writing books with students from China and Malaysia and other countries on the web that are free. If you don't believe in Wikipedia or Wikispecies, you can go to the Encyclopedia of Life, which is peer-reviewed. Species of the world, 2 million of them, scientifically reviewed. If you don't like Wikipedia, if you don't like Wikibooks, try Wikisource and Wikiquote. Now, Wikisource has all the original works of Sir Francis Bacon or Isaac Newton or Hemingway, all the original papers, and Wikiquotes, quotes from Shakespeare and so forth, right? So cool stuff. Jimmy Wales, that's the headquarters. You have 10 people working there. Millions of people around the world. We went in, my son and I went into headquarters there. 10 people. They had a hiring spree that day. They were hiring 2 people. My friend Cool Cat Teacher in Georgia came to my talk I gave in Atlanta last year. I had been giving talks all day. I had my 4th talk of the day, and I had 4 people in the audience, and I was dead tired. The day before I had been in D.C. doing talks. I flew into Atlanta. I was dead tired. She said, "Can I Ustream you?" I said, "What do you mean Ustream you?" Well, she said, "I put a little camera on your computer, and I stream it up to the world." I said, "Well, there's only 4 people here. Stream it up. I get 1 billion people to watch." Little did I know that Jennifer Madrill, one of my master's students, was in New York at a conference, and Jennifer sent a note. "Tell Curt we're watching him in New York City at a conference. We're putting him up on the big screen. We're Ustreaming the Ustream. We got 100 people here in the audience." And she started asking questions, and Cool Cat Teacher Twitters on it and blog posts on it. And she has thousands of followers. And all of a sudden, my friend Bernie Dodge, who created a famous thing called the Web Quest, starts sending in questions. All the students at San Diego State are sending in questions. I get rejuved, through a little. Now, you all can have your own TV shows and Ustream. Back in the 1980s, we had Live Aid. We had Willie Nelson from Texas doing Live Aid, right? I think in the 2000s, we need to have Live Ed. And teachers, best teachers around the world coming in through Ustream. See. The Queen has the Royal Channel. The Queen uploads to YouTube. The Dalai Lama has a podcast. Barack Obama has his BlackBerry and probably has Twitter feeds. I mean, if politicians and religious leaders can do this, professors and K-12 teachers can do it too. I mean, the Queen, the Royal Channel is a cool place. Take a look at it. I mean, back in 1957, her first TV special, she said, "Technology is overwhelming you." I know it is. It's 1957. Okay? 52 years later, it still is, right? We have Godwin Agudi, who creates a school in Segagana, and my friend Yan goes and films it and puts it up in Al Gore's television network called Current TV. You know, the same one that people are caught behind the lines in North Korea and had to be taken, fortunately got out, Lisa Ling's sister. Well, she puts it up, and now everyone finds out about Godwin Agudi's school and are donating stuff to his school. He didn't have running water or electricity or computers or computer teachers, but now he does. And now he's a friend of mine, and Jan's a friend of mine. I just stumbled on her pod in Current TV one day. It won an award. She's a computer programmer with a master's degree, and she doesn't have a degree in filmography, but she's putting her films up in Nomad's Land, in Current TV, and other places, and she's winning awards for her movie productions, her documentaries. She's going to Western China and Tibet and filming things about displacement of people that if she was caught, she could be put in jail for, in fact, some of the things she's done there. But she's taking a risk. She's doing something that interests her. My friend Jonathan Ziltrin just left for Oxford for Harvard. He's in Harvard now, and Yoki Bankler's at Harvard too. They both have books. Their books are with Yale Press, and they're free to the world. Yale makes them a PDF you can download. But in addition, you can talk to Jonathan. His book's called The Future of the Internet and How to Stop It. Yoki's is The Wealth of Networks, not the wealth of it's The Wealth of Nations, is the alternative. You can talk to him in annotations. Comment. You can comment on the book and have a conversation on the book, free on the web. His book is also a wiki, and you can change it. If you've been to YouTube, you might want to also check out Scribbled, or Scribe with a D on it. YouTube for text. Those of you who are doctoral students who have to do qualifying exams, which are read by 3 people or 4 at the most. My qualifying exams were read by 4 people for 20 years, that's it. I put them up in Scribd, and that day 100 people read my qualifying exams. And could comment on it, could form groups on it, could discuss it. In Scribd there are free books through iPaper. You can download Plato's Republic in iPaper, and you can download the whole book. Okay? It's cool stuff. YouTube for text. Genealogical records. Musical scores are the most popular thing in Scribd. Number 7 gets at collaboration. Collaborate or die is the title of the chapter. So here we've got George asked me to come to talk to his students in Manchester last year. Remember that, George? And that same day we went up, did a little webcam thing for his students. I had a little questions to answer, 4 questions, and we put it up on the web using a little streaming tool. I don't think we used Adobe for that, but we used something. This summer I was asked to go to China, and I stayed home instead. I couldn't get to southern part of China this summer, so it was too hot there anyways. We are doing stuff with people in Singapore here, creating a new conference. Here we're doing some accreditation projects with folks at Hanyang Cyber University in Korea, where Paul actually went a year ago. Synchronous conferencing. Last night I did stuff with people from the Philippines. We're doing a conference next week. We had a test run from my hotel room. I was at the Zaza Hotel in Houston. I got my little webcam. We're in the Skype, and we're doing this stuff. Pretty soon we're going to have full motion wraparound, 3D images like Yoda-like stuff. In December I went to Cisco headquarters in Indianapolis, or their branch office in Indianapolis. They were interviewing me in San Jose, and they could teleport me in to make it look like I'm really in the studio with them. There's a project called Contact North in Ontario, where First Nation people have instructors teleported up to them in the northern parts of Ontario, where they don't even have paved roads, but they have teleported instructors into their learning centers from Toronto and Hamilton and other parts of southern Ontario. So this teleportic technology is growing from HP and Cisco, and it's coming from North Carolina actually is doing this stuff. This is not in your handouts. By the way, again, trainingshare.com has all these slides. My friend, again, Mimi Lee from Houston and Deb Hutton from Indiana do video conference